So continuing on with the parts there from yesterday evening, I took off the venturi off the inlet. I still have to take out the heater plug. I was more concerned of getting this off. Now I'm going to get a torch and I'll show you. I was having a pig of a job getting out the screw bolts in this. We'll call them screws. So I had to get the little die grinder on the Dremel, and I had to actually recut new slots. So I have them just about out, but I left them in just to keep them safe there. The next job I said I'd try, because I know it can be a pig, is to get out this little pin here. So that is actually coming. So because of that, I've decided to record stripping down this venturi, because if you can strip them down you can rebush them. So I want to get one rebushed. The other one I have hanging on the wall I showed in yesterday's video is fairly tight, but I still would like, if possible, this is a little magnetic tray. You've probably seen it before in videos. It's awful handy for keeping parts right in one place there where you don't want them to go walking. So this just comes off the end here. Now you'd hope that someone hasn't given that too much of a whack, but I should be able to at least tap it on through once I take out them two screws. But firstly I want to free it up there a little bit. That's freeing up lovely. See if that wants to make its way off. No, it doesn't really. That's okay. So what we can go ahead with now, finishing, is taking out them two screws. Move them out, then I should be able to tap that through. So I'll get a nice screwdriver for the job. The tripod just isn't tall enough to show exactly what I'm doing here, but I'm sure you can imagine. These are fairly ate up, so when I get them out they'll be going into the small vise. And I'll be using a hacksaw blade to recut nice slots in them. I had a pig of a job getting one of them out, and the other one wasn't great either. So it's just a little bit awkward getting them out, and it's at an angle as well. So I'll come back when they're out and we'll show you what next thing we're going to be doing. The two screws out, and this is what you're left with in there. So if I'm not mistaken, I should be able to turn this now till that's straight. I should be able to pull out that butterfly kind of flap. The lighting is not great, but that's turned a little bit straighter now. I should be by rights able to pull it out. It's coming there slowly, and we should be able to give it a good clean, because these things do have a lot of muck on them. Doesn't always help with them pulling out. Right, so I need both hands. I think it's going to be a two-hand job. So nearly out of fighting me the whole way. And there we go. So that's the butterfly flap. I need a serious cleaning. That'll mean it'll go in handier. Now the next thing is to see if we can get this little shaft out. So, a nice size punch. I think this one might be nice, will it? That'll get it going anyway. Get it started hopefully, if it wants to go. Maybe smaller. like that, it's slightly mushroomed. Now if I have to, I will file a bit of it off the end. It's just a little bit mushroomed. Alright, yeah, I can see it there. So if I will get it off, if not worse off, and when I do, I will have to tidy that up a bit. It is gone a bit mushroomed. Right, let's try it one more time. I know I'm probably adding insult to injury here. Once we get it started, it will probably correct itself. Okay, so nearly off there. That's looking good. That's why we rubber mats down here, for one of the reasons. And that now is what it looks like inside. So again, it all needs a nice clean. And that then is what's in there. So these usually draw air around here, not here. There's no bushing. There's no bushing in here, you see. And they usually get worn there. So at least now I can even countersink that and just put, if I want to be lazy, put an O-ring there, you know. That's one way around it for, we'll say, for doing a quick fix on it. Yeah, and that goes there. But yeah, that is stripped. So now we need to just give it a bit of a clean. I might bring it over to the parts washer, I think, is the best thing here. Rather than use an awfully good spray. We have gallons and gallons of diesel and kerosene in here. And we can do a clean job. Lovely. That's clean enough well. So that'll give us a better idea of what we're working with, and we'll be able to clean that down a little bit now. And again, this throttle venturi is not available new, so you have to work at what you have. Quality is in them. Serious metal in them now, in fairness. Already you can see that starting to clean up lovely. Yeah. That's not looking too bad for a quick attempt at cleaning it up. I prefer to use this and even sandpaper. Maybe not, and I don't mind in this shaft, but anywhere there, I'll try and keep as much less. And this will probably go for bushing, actually, doesn't matter too much. So just to see what we're working with. So that's it. I don't know why there's 3 holes. Oh, I do know why there's 3 holes. So them 2 on the left are for the butterfly kind of flap, and then the one on the end is for the pin. Lovely. So clean up the butterfly. Some of these get fairly bent over the years. People pushing the throttle back to the ticking over an idle position. Too hard bends them. So this one probably is slightly bent as well, yeah. So it's important maybe to either straighten it out or put it back in the way it came out, because you're going to find it's going to want to be a certain way. If you put it in the wrong way, you won't be long noticing that when you put it back together. And it's not the kind of part that you want to be taken out again. Those screws holding this in, they're rarely damaged from tightening them in, because the majority of them are only tightened in once in their life, never removed. It's the taking them out that damages the slotting them, because on the end of the screw is kind of a slot up through the screw, and they widen that to turn it into a lock nut, a lock bolt, like a lock screw, whatever you want to call it, a screw bolt. A nice little bit of brass. It's worth giving it a good clean down. And where I was tapping it out there was probably a bit wide, so no harm just to get your sandpaper at the edge there. Take a bit of that off. Because you want this to go back in as easy as possible. The least amount of baiting with a hammer. So that would do for now. Of course, when I get it bushed, when I get the shaft rebushed, I will give that a good polish up and a good bit more sanding. And I'll trial fit it in a few times to make sure it slides through as easy as possible. So it's a little bit tight still. I think most carbs, they're rarely in the center as well. I can get them with a vernier caliper, see what way that is. I have another one there on the shelf, so I can, if needs be, I can compare it with that. 18.34. Well, it seems to be fairly centered now, in fairness. That's good. It shouldn't matter what way it goes back in. So yes, so we'll move it over to the vise here and let's have a play around it here and make sure that it's going to go back home easy enough. Again, this is stuff that I can be doing after I get it bushed, but it's also something I can do now anyway. It's going to have to be done. So that seems to go in there nice and easy there. And then this way, not as easy. Just about playing around with it, I suppose. At least I have another one there for reference. Aluminium drift is handy, because it won't or shouldn't damage it. It's softer than the brass. Okay. So it goes in nice and easy that way, so I think that's probably the right way. So we'll put our screws into the vise now. I want to tidy them up. Be careful here because I don't want to go damaging the threads. So I might put it into the small vise over here. There's our pin that I primed yesterday evening, ready for top coat. I'm going to grab this very lightly in here. Very lightly. Get a hacksaw. Hacksaw blade. And what I like to do with these and all other bolts like this that are awkward, I might actually get the hacksaw because I can work with it the way it is. The junior hacksaw is actually probably best for this, but look, let's try and keep it as straight as possible. So I'm not overly deepening the slot, overly widening it. I want to deepen it. I want as much made as possible on the side of it. Okay, so now what we got is, it's a bit better, and it's chewed up, so that's good. That's one done. Oh jeez. Oh, one done. This is the real bad one now, if I'm not mistaken. You don't want to go too much because otherwise it'll just adjust the brake. So actually it might work with this device here. Good lighting here with the door open. So our threads are in the bottom, so that's the way we can work it now. It's always handy having a small vise with the not big, sharp, jagged teeth on it. So I might just move this side here so I can work here. So screwdrivers. I'm going to chance this lad a little bit wider than what I used to take them out, but we have better slots now. I just want to run these in and out a few times, make sure I'm happy with them. That's good. Okay. Then we'll know if we need to slot them a bit more or less. This one now was the one, the bio. Encounter Dakar Labyrinth. This bio was hard to remove. Yeah, that's okay. So I think we've salvaged, because I've come across a few of these before where you just couldn't get them out. Lovely. So that is good. So we'll bring over the rest of the venturi. Let's see, is there anything else we can do here? So these throttle, so what would that be there? That is the tick over. You can see there's a bit of wire around that. That's basically designed so that you can't alter the tick over and make it lower or higher. And then this then, if I'm not mistaken, is stationary. That holds in there, in that little slot there. And this then is your maximum revs, so they're meant to be governed at about 2,200 revs. So that's what you do there. Again, just there's a bit of a wire around that, so you would loosen this off to allow it to rev more, so that's okay. The banjo bolt that goes in there, I think I have some old ones of them, and I think I have a new one as well. So the only other thing that will be left to do with this is parts washer, and sure, well, that's why don't we do that now? And then I can shop blast it then myself before I send it to the machine shop. So that way there, you can see exactly what they're working with. Put my gloves on this time. probably won't take a whole lot off. It's very sticky stuff, this. But you can at least get it soft for me. Because if I was to put that in the shop blaster, it would only block up everything. All that stuff that will come off there straight away will just block up everything. Mixture of engine, of kind of diesel and dirt and dust. And then you can use a bit of sandpaper then to flatten this surface. Well, they rarely seem to go out of shape, but it's just something you can do. And it's good always then before you put your gasket on to have that cleaned. You don't want any air getting in anywhere. Lovely. That's probably about as good as that's going to go. Doing first today. Well, I know you're not meant by rights to be messing with this. This is a tick over adjustment. There's wire around it. I've removed the wire. I do like to be able to make my own adjustments to the tick over. I think every engine is different. So I'm just going to, I've loosened off the lock nut. I'm going to deepen this slot a bit. I want to be able to adjust this myself. This won't be going on the Ferguson 20 diesel here, it'll be going to one of my home place. Okay, that is fairly well solid, so it's going to need a lock nut put on that, and that's how we're going to get that moving. So I'll come back when I get a lock nut fitted.